All right, so this happened a while back, but we want to talk about it anyway since the NFL draft is coming up.
Right.
Deion Sanders went on a radio show, Tom Joyner Morning Show, and he said, I like Johnny Manziel. Not quoting exactly, but he likes Johnny Manziel because Johnny Manziel has ghetto tendencies. Now, for those that don't necessarily follow college football or don't live on planet Earth, Johnny Manziel likes to show
Johnny
off.
football.
He likes to show off. He likes to talk a little bit of trash.
Yeah. He's very much about marketing himself.
Very much about marketing.
I think he's like trying to get his name like copywritten, like
probably,
Johnny Football,
probably
something like that.
Yeah. So the real question is, what do you think about Johnny Manziel, the NFL draft? Because we had this conversation about bracketology, which is black bodies on display, and here Johnny Manziel is this very white body, but gets labeled as ghetto tendencies, right? So what do you what's your take on?
Even
this
when
process?
it reminds me of when for crying out loud, I never remember names when I need them. The white dude that was a basketball point guard,
White Chocolate.
White Chocolate. What was his name?
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams. Okay, look, because the reason why I bring this guy up is because within this space, it's like even when you talk about white people, you always understand that it's with a surrounding black people, right? And so it's like, here's Johnny Manziel, quote Johnny Football or whatever, and you automatically have to like kind of connect him to being black by saying, yo, he has these ghetto tendencies, and it's like basically he's just a showman. He's done it. We've had other people do it before. Some people would argue Matt Leinart from SC, my alma mater, but he wound up not being very good, and so no one cares about him. But he came in and he was all about the show. And I get it, right? And so here's another guy who comes in. He's all about the show. And it's like, but why does that has to be labeled as ghetto? And like I said, bringing it back to that black space, right? Because when you talk about, white chocolate, it's like, well, what the hell does that even mean, right? It's like, okay, he's the white dude on the basketball court with all these other black people. And then it's like, those are the kind of things that just really upset me when we start talking about when we start talking about football, and you know what, I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna go off on slave auctions and stuff.
No, but that's where we need to go, right? Because here you're putting him against the Jadeveon Clowney, who's this black strong figure who just rips people's head off, and another quarterback who's black, and you're nitpicking and finding faults. Right. Again, we talked about bracketology and black bodies on display. Here you have these white folks with their clipboards measuring their calf size and how fast they jump and how high they run. I mean,
how fast they jump and
how fast they jump. You're gonna jump fast and furious. But it really is this sort of slave auction that you sort of.
Dude, it's like when you look at it, it's like because I was watching the Jadeveon Clowney like his pro day, and it's like I'm looking at him, like shrugging his shoulders, getting ready, loosening up, and he's surrounded by all these white bodies, and I'm like, what part of this doesn't look like a slave auction? What part of this, is it the same scene in like Mandingo, which is not the movie that you're thinking of, the scene in Mandingo where they have all these strong black bucks up on the slave auction, and they're like, hey, look at him, and they're feeling them up and measuring all of this stuff, and then say, yeah, go run around the room, show everybody how strong you are. And it's like, yo, I mean, isn't this the same thing? And by the way, I know some of you are going to really disagree with this because my wife heavily disagrees with this. She hates it that I call this a slave auction because she's like, no, Bruce, they have choices. And I'm like, okay, look, if you got choices where you're creating this complete underclass, this permanent underclass, if you would, of urban inner city kids. And you give them no education, you give them no hope you give them no jobs and all of this stuff, and you give them basically an 8th grade education. What else are they supposed to do? How else are they supposed to respond to all of this stuff? And so, if you can't rap, if you can't make anybody laugh, then you better damn well be good at sports, or else you're going to do some other things that are not productive in our particular society. And so, when you're thinking about all of those things, I say that the choice has been taken out of these young black men's hands because they don't have any other alternatives, if you would. And I get it. I get that, I get that in the United States we want to tell people to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, but that's not reality. Do you understand what that phrase even really means? Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Okay, look. So in order for black people to be successful, we need to defy the laws of gravity in order to be successful. That's what the hell that thing means. And so what is that? What are we saying when we limit the opportunities of people and then have them play this incredibly violent sport that is going to completely destroy their bodies? And it's going to completely destroy their brains. Junior Seau is a personal friend of mine, and we know about the brain damage that he's suffering, and all these football players are suffering, and that their life expectancy is like 50 years old, and that even though they're making a lot of money, the vast majority of them actually become broke about 3 years after they're in the NFL. Then who is actually benefiting from all this? All the white dudes with the clipboards and all the white dudes in the executive offices that are making tons and tons and tons of money off of these folks, and they're only going to live and see it today, and then tomorrow they're going to be going and working at Denny's and selling steaks out of the back of trucks. That's what I heard happened to Icky Woods. Like, he was actually selling like steaks or something. I don't know if that's true. It's a legend, but that's what I heard. It was like Icky Woods, who was like NFL MVP or something like that.
The Icky Shuffle.
Yeah, the Icky Shuffle. But anyway, it's like I said, what part of this is not a slave auction?
Well, and then there's an irony that football is the American sport, right?
Oh, yes, because America is a slave auction.
We will be watching the 49ers and the Chargers pick cotton next season.
Unfortunately, he's correct.